Let's talk about one of the teams that was in action yesterday, and that's Fulham. They were worried that they were going to be pulled into the relegation scrap, managed to get a great win at West Brom yesterday. Berbatov back amongst the goals, Brian Ruiz playing very well indeed. They sold Dempsey and Dembele, of course, to Spurs, but they've still managed to do, well, certainly yesterday, as well as they could have hoped. But do they still fear for their Premier League survival with all this money coming in next season? Let's have a word with Kristian. He's a Fulham fan. Hello, Kristian.
Hi, guys.
How do you feel about your season so far?
Well, it's been a bit up and down, I must admit. It started really well. We got a 5-0 win over Norwich on the first day. But since we sold Dembele, I think, right before the end of August, we've gone downwards a bit. We've got no creative centre midfielders. The win against West Brom yesterday was a good win. We needed it because we had a poor November and poor December. But as I say, it's up and down. I'm hoping that over the last couple of seasons, we've picked up at the end of the season and hoping we do the same this year, really.
Kristian, don't you think you've got to be a bit patient with Martin Jol, because under Mark Hughes, under Roy Hodgson, you was difficult to beat, difficult to break down, but Martin Jol's just trying to bring in a new style of football.
Definitely, I 100% agree with that. I think with the defeats we've had recently, a lot of fans have been on Jol's back a little bit because defensively we're not the same team we used to be. We've got the same back four, but we don't seem to do the same as we did under Hodgson or Hughes, as you said. But he's got to have time. He wants to implement a younger team as well, which is something he said when he came in 2011. Hasn't happened yet. We've seen Fry come in and catch Niklic, but we're still signing players like Karagounis. Obviously, Petric is 31. Berbatov, obviously quality player, but he is 31. I think if you give him a little time, he needs a good season or two to get what he wants at Fulham, and I think he should definitely stay in the job. Alfred's not one to sack managers easily. I mean, the last person he sacked was Sanchez, and he was appalling. So yeah, he definitely needs the time. He should get it from Alfred as well.
We've asked a question, Kristian. Despite that win at West Brom, are Fulham still in a relegation battle? Most people who've tweeted us have said no. What do you think?
I don't think we are. I mean, you have to worry when you're sort of losing at home. We had such a good home record before. We haven't got it at the moment. But we've got two good players in like Berbatov. The defence is still solid in the sense that the personnel is still there. I think we're not going to struggle in that sense, but we're not going to finish as high as we have in the last couple of seasons. It's going to be a building season. Hopefully, we'll get a couple of players in January and move on. But no, I wouldn't say we're in a relegation struggle at all.
Kristian, I think a key player is going to be Brian Ruiz, because obviously he was injured for a little while, wasn't he? And him and Berbatov seem to have a really excellent understanding. I think if they play a period of games at home, I think you can see some brilliant football.
Definitely. I think if you saw the pass from Ruiz for catching Niklic against West Brom, is a brilliant pass. He's such a brilliant player, creative. He's good on the ball. Sort of player we need when you lose Dembele in the summer. He's the sort of player you need. He's not in the same role, obviously. He's behind the striker, but he's a great player. He links well with Berbatov, as you said. I think add them too as a sort of strike force up top. They're going to be brilliant for us. So yeah, he's going to be key. Obviously, Berbatov's key as well.
Everyone said, and this was a sort of poke in the eye for all the critics of Berbatov. They always say, well, yeah, he's wonderful when he's playing at home, but away from home he's a luxury we can't afford. But he certainly proved that wasn't true yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where people are coming from with that. Sometimes he does look a bit lazy, but others obviously describe it as languid. I think when you've got a player of his quality, though, you need him to play every game, because when he touches the ball, when he's got the ball, he can do anything with it. And that's the sort of player you need sometimes when you're away from home, when perhaps you're soaking up the pressure a little bit more. You need someone like Berbatov up there who can take the ball down, keep a hold of it for a little bit if he needs to, and obviously he's a good striker with the ball as well. So he's definitely good away from home, definitely good at home. We need a player like that, and we've got one, thankfully.
Kristian, it's a mark of a top player when he plays at his pace. He plays at half a yard to a yard slower than everybody else, and he gives confidence to the rest of the Fulham players. In the transfer window, who would you like to see come in?
I haven't got any particular players in mind, but we definitely need someone in central midfield who's creative, because at the moment we're mixing in Diarra, good player but defensively minded. Baird, a defender by trade. Sidwell's good, but again he's more of a combative midfield. I haven't seen many sort of key passes or anything like that from him. We need someone creative in midfield who can sort of supply the ball to Ruiz and Berbatov. That's key. I think also at centre back, you look past Hangeland and Hughes, and you've only got Sunderust, and when he comes in, he looks a bit fragile, a bit weak. We need someone in there, only a backup player, but someone that we can rely on definitely behind Hangeland and Hughes, because we've not been lucky. We've not been massive injuries this season, so we need some backup there. And as I said, a creative centre midfielder is someone we definitely need in January.
Nice one, Kristian. Thank you very much indeed for your input.